Well, hello. This is Dragonheart coming to you from Durango, Colorado. Got a little kitty here. And this is your weekly broadcast of Unified Love. And it is for the highest awakening of humanity. Yes, it's to awaken the true nature of unified love with each individual, thus the whole Earth community. Okay? And yes, and this will create a sustainable, just, thriving presence on the Earth. And so this is this week's transmission, the week of March 2nd, I believe. And we got my kitty here to join us. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is mindfulness. This is a fundamental practice of unified love. It's not a religion, it's not a, it's not anything but a tool for us humans to be better humans and to live a happy life. Now, what is mindfulness, you might ask yourself? It's basically what it comes down to is awareness. It's awareness. It's a tool for tapping in to awareness and to our greater potential. John Kabat-Zinn might call it, his description of mindfulness is to be with what's happening as it's happening without judgment. So that's his. I like that one a lot. And it's basically, it's the observer perspective, okay? It's the observer perspective. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're feeling, whatever's going on, you take this observer perspective. And so that's where mindfulness brings us. That observer perspective is that's where a lot of freedom is, because we can also use the example of the mirror. The mirror just reflects, right? So whatever is happening in the mirror, it's reflecting, and that's our experience, right? And so the awareness, what mindfulness does, is it allows us to be the mirror. So we're not just the reflection, and we're not all caught up in, our feelings, our thoughts, or our experience. That was our guest, my friend. We're not so caught up in our experience of the reflections, we're able to just reflect. And there's a huge amount of freedom that comes from that. Okay. So yeah, this observer perspective, this mirror mind, this is our access point to our greater selves, to unified love. That's why it's really important, I think, and it applies to this. So, yes. So let's do a little exercise, my beloveds. If you would just stick your finger up your nose really quick, like that. And just, you might feel like right now I feel really awkward doing this. This feels very strange. I feel a little bit embarrassed, a little bit weird. Okay. So okay. So that's with the finger up your nose. And if you were in front of a bunch of people, it'd be different. So now we're going to do finger up the nose with mindfulness. Okay. We kind of just did it because I was explaining, but okay. Up the nose. Okay. And so now we're just noticing and observing our feelings about it and our thoughts about it, and even the experience of the finger in the nose. It's a little slimy in there, right? Okay. So that's the difference. Is without mindfulness, you're just thinking about it. You're just in it. But with mindfulness, I'm just observing that it's slimy in my nose and that I feel a little awkward, in front of people the audience with my finger at my nose. And so when I do the observer of the mindfulness perspective, it's not a big deal that I'm not so locked in the experience. Okay? Now, Time magazine, I don't know if you've seen it, but they have, their front cover was Mindful Revolution, so this stuff is very widespread. You've probably heard of it before, but I'm bringing it through on this video transmission because it's so important. And it's kind of like exercise. You know, it's just like a muscle. Mindfulness is a muscle. And so meditation is the exercise to strengthen this muscle of mindfulness. Yeah, and so there's been a study by, there's been so many studies on mindfulness and meditation. But there's one that I found, and it was by Oxford University in November 2013, and it was studying a specific mindfulness program called Be Mindful. And it's an online course, I'll link to it. And they found that people who did this course, did the mindfulness practice, 58% reduction in anxiety levels, 57% reduction in depression, 40% reduction in stress. And so there's tons of studies, you can research it for yourself, and there's the scientific evidence is there to prove the benefits of mindfulness and meditation. And for me, you know, I've done it for, I don't know, like 2 years, pretty solid, but off and on for more than that. And I can tell you from my experience, you know, huge benefits. So I will also link to that Be Mindful thing, Be Mindful online course. And so, yeah, like I said, it's a muscle, and so like daily meditation or even any meditation, it's like you're going to the gym and you're strengthening that mindfulness muscle, basically. It's like the muscle. And so also with meditation, they've done tons of studies. You can look it up, Google it. One thing I found, they did research with an EEG brain scan. They look at different parts of your brain and see the connections that are made, and in the normal brain, average brain, you know, they don't see a ton of connection of communication, synchronization. But with meditation, they studied people meditating with EEG scans, and they see that the whole brain is being in sync and perfectly, you know, aligned in how it's supposed to work, harmonized and yeah. So, how do we meditate? I'd like to talk about that. Well, you take a seat and in a quiet place, and basically you just observe your breath. It's really simple. You breathe. You just allow yourself to breathe as you would naturally without manipulating it. And you just observe the breath. You know, you might want to observe it in the belly, or a lot of traditions, they observe the feeling on the upper lip. And there's tons of information out there. And so you just breathe out your nose, and whatever arises, the mind naturally just, you know, runs and makes stuff up, and so that'll happen. You know, you might get uncomfortable, tons of thoughts. And the exercise, like I was saying, happens when we realize the mind has gone away from the breath and we bring it back to the breath. And so that's like a rep, okay? And so that's what it is. It's like you're doing reps, because, you know, it's not like you're trying to silence the mind. You're not trying to change anything. All you're doing is just bringing the attention back to the breath. And without judgment too, because there might be that judgment of, oh, you know, I was just thinking for 5 minutes about Play-Doh, right? Well, that's okay. That's just the mind working. You just bring it back to the breath, and you just hang out with your breath, and that's all it is. So if you're interested in you know, strengthening that capacity, feel free, and I would highly encourage it. So that's it for this week. Thank you for watching, And like I said, the whole point of this is to, awaken individuals to unified love, our true nature, unified love. And, as more individuals wake up to this, then the oneness of our being and the compassion, the natural compassion that comes from that oneness for each other and for everything, then our society and our whole earth community will also take that, And then from that, as our base, as our consciousness, then, we're going to have a environmentally sustainable, just, socially just, thriving humanity, because we're coming from that place of unified love. So please share this video, get the word out, do your part, whatever your gifts are, do your art, do your whatever it is, to awaken everybody else and yourself. So that's it. I'm out of here. Lots of love. Goodbye.